In this video, we're going to work on Excel tables. Let's start by opening up the file called Mr. Excel Pivot Table. In looking at the file, we'd like to find out how big of a file it is. The easiest way to do that is by holding the Control key and hitting End. It takes us down to the end of the file, and what we can see is the file is 2,000 rows long. If we want to go to the top of the file, we hold down the Control key and hit Home. Looking at the top of the file, our top row would include our headers. Another name for headers are field names. Underneath our headers are rows. And in database talk, each row is considered a record. And a record is described basically by the various field names: date, region, sales rep, customer, product, cost of goods sold, and also sales. To open or begin an Excel table, you click on the Insert tab and then click Table. You get a dialog box which will define the size of the table, and as we've already determined, it is in fact 2,000 rows long. It does have headers, so we can now click OK. This has been turned into a table, and we know that because there are down arrows next to each of the field names. These down arrows help us to filter the table. It's the main reason why you would use a table, is that you want to select certain records. You want to filter that table based upon specific conditions. But before we do that, we're going to show you one of the strengths of a table. We're going to click in the cell H1, and we're going to type in margin. And automatically, Excel has recognized that all the cells in the H column are future records, or rather fields. What we're going to do next, in that cell H2, we're going to create a formula. All formulas begin with an equal sign. And we're going to define margin as being sales less cost of goods sold. Once again, it's pretty easy to understand what we're doing here. The sales field less cost of goods sold field. Hit enter, and automatically that entire formula is copied throughout the entire table. Next, it's very common to create a total column within your table. One of the ways of doing that is to click within the table, right-click, go to Table, and click on Totals Row. It takes you down to the end of the table. You have a little marker here. If you click within that cell, there is a down arrow, which shows that right now we are summing that entire column. But we would also have the ability to average it, or to count, find the maximum number within that column. But we're going to go back to summing it. After you've created a totals row, you can then click along this entire row here and click within this cell here, G2001, underneath sales. And when you do that, you end up getting a down arrow, which allows you once again to choose what you want to do to that column. We're going to sum it. Click in here, hit the down arrow, and sum this total. We'll go into this cell here, click the down arrow, and count the entries. We know that that's correct because there's 2,000 rows, one of which contains our field names or headers. So we have our various totals. As we've already mentioned, the key component of a table within Excel is the ability to filter that table, to select just certain cells. So we're going to come up to the field called Region, click there, and then just select the North region. And we do that by first clicking on Select All, which removes all your check marks. And then it gives us the ability now to check North. Click OK. What's now showing are just the rows having to do, or records having to do, with the North region. We know that we've filtered that column because there's a small Y up on top here. And if we hover our mouse over that Y, it will actually tell us what that filter is. We're filtering on the region column, and we're looking equal North. Or in other words, we're choosing the North region. We have the ability to filter the date column or field. Hit that down arrow. Go down to Date Filters. Go over to After. And for our filter here is after 5/1/2005. Click OK. Once again, if we hover over that field, it will tell us how we have filtered that field. For our sales, we want to create a filter on sales where we want to just show sales greater than $5,000. So we're going to click on the sales field, go to Number Filters, greater than 5,000. It's pretty powerful. As we can see, we have filters here on date, where it's after 5/1, region, just choosing the North region, and sales, they're greater than 5,000. If we want to clear what we just did, we would click on Data, Clear. So that removes all of our filtering. If we want to convert the table back to its original state, what we do is we click inside of the table, right click, go down to Table, and then Convert to Range. We get a dialog box. Click Yes. Yes, we do want to convert the table to its normal range. And as you can see, the down arrows next to all the filters are now gone. Thank you.